What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the last USA basketball recap. This is for the women's. Thank y'all for joining us this morning. We got Cardo Dudley Jr., we got Raymond Lyons. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. And look, the U.S. men's and women's had to deal with France on both sides of the brackets. The first time in history you had the same matchup on the men's and women's side that we talked about yesterday. First of all, shout out to France for pushing the U.S. both in the men's and the women's side of things. They survived. USA women survived this. So many turnovers, so many missed layups, the high level physicality by France, which is why, as I was sitting here watching some of you Twitter warriors talking about why so and so isn't playing, because they would have been in hell with this physicality. Or some people didn't make the trip. This level of physicality was crazy. There were people, right now, there's people on this team that didn't handle this physicality well, that were here, that are vets. It was real. That said, Carter, we'll start with you and then Ray. Just your thoughts on USA getting golds with the 67-66 win over France. That makes it the 61st consecutive Olympic game the U.S. women have won, and that makes it 8 consecutive golds for them.
Yeah, man. France. They went up against the number one defense in the entire Olympics in France. They're long, they're athletic, they're scrappy, very intelligent, and they play well together, man. And they came in, they only allowed 66 points a game. You know what I mean? And some was gonna have to give. Either somebody was gonna have to break. Either the USA's offense was gonna have to break, or France defense. And for the most part, France did a hell of a job. They did the best job out of anybody in the Olympics on keeping USA down, and it really forced Cheryl Reeves to have to look deep into her lineup to find the right lineup to finally figure things out and crack that code. And the code was you had to get Kalea Copper in the game. You had to get in the paint, and that's what you saw after when they started on that comeback after France built that 10-point lead after halftime. It was Kalea Copper just getting in the paint. Either she was finding over shooters or she was getting to the paint, getting a layup, or let's say they missed a layup, Asia was there to clean it up, and they were also drawing fouls, and those fouls started to pile up, and that allowed them to get to the line, and they were able to kind of control the game a little bit. And then once they got in the bonus and were able to get in the line, it was just all bets were off. Get to the paint. Find a way to get to the paint. And no one could keep Kalea Copper in front of them. Even Gabby Williams, who's an outstanding athlete, outstanding defender, all-around player in her own right, as you saw in this game. Her first step is ridiculous. She's one of the most. Kalea Copper is one of the most athletic players that ever played in the W. Like, seriously, you know what I mean? We saw her in her young days when she was with the Mystics, but she was trying to figure out how to play, get her skill, and the basketball part of it to catch up with her athleticism. And now that it has, you see her, champion, all-star, all WNBA caliber player. And now she's an Olympic gold medalist. Let me add that to it. And she was the difference maker in the second half, man. And that kind of just enough forced France to have to buckle. And that's what allowed the spacing and stuff like that for Asia to finally get some room to operate compared to the first 3 quarters and whatnot. And USA just fed on that. They made their free throws, and the rest was history, man. USA 27-34 from the free throw line. They got 34 free throws and only won by 1 because they shot 60% from deep and 33% from the field. That gives you that's because of France defense. That's because of France defense. They got nothing easy, nothing. So they had to make it ugly. They had to just like to play around. F it. I'm just gonna get in here. I'm just gonna get in here and figure it out, though. Like I gotta figure it out, and that's what happens. And they got the calls and stuff like that. I felt France had their chances late in the game, but I think they went away from their offense once the pressure started them out. You know what I'm saying? USA was kind of getting to the line, keep putting points, and they was kind of putting the pressure on them. Up by 2, up by 3. I think a little bit France they lost their poise, and they were forcing jacking a lot of tough threes, and that's what cost them the game, because in the last minute or so they got it back, and that's when you saw Gabby hit the 3, and even that tough 2 at the end. You know what I'm saying? You just see the offense kind of get back to what gave them the lead. And the first I say 22 minutes of the game, or when they built that 10-point lead after halftime or whatnot. So that's what I've been saying the whole time for both sides, the men's and the women's. To beat them, you have to play efficient basketball on both sides, but for the entire game. You can't have 10 seconds where you can't have a couple minutes, can't have a quarter. You got to do it for entire 40 minutes to beat those teams because they're so deep. You know what I'm saying? They're so deep, and they got so many players capable of beating you. And last night, yesterday, the men's side of things got to the fourth quarter. They couldn't really do it. In this game, it literally got down to like the last 2-3 minutes of the game. And you saw, and they in France lost their poise and got away from what was working, and that was enough for USA to edge them out, in the game.
Ray, your take on this extremely hard-fought game?
Yeah, man, it's just rare where you see a situation where Team USA can't impose their will on the team. I don't think they really took control of the game for any stretch, to be perfectly honest. It was just back and forth the entire time. I mean, it's 25-25 at halftime. That should tell you what kind of game this was. And, Cardell pointed out the 34 free throws. And that's with the refs letting the lot go. So, just being out there, you can kind of tell what type of time it was. And kudos to France, man. They weren't backing down. They had a game plan. They went in and executed it to the best of their ability and came up a couple inches short. So that should just tell you what the level of play that was happening out there. And for Team USA to come out on top, that's just a gutty, gritty, ugly win. And you need to win like that sometimes. I mean, that's their 61st win in a row. They can't beat everybody by 40. You're going to have to get it done in a multitude of different ways. We saw a lot during this tournament where, Brittany Griner was just a security blanket. Not a lot of teams have what it takes to combat with that, but she couldn't find a way on the floor this game because of France's speed and athleticism. Just would have been a disadvantage to have her out there. So, the other ladies had to step up. Asia, of course, she did her thing on the boards. We saw Kalea Copper get in there, fight and get some rebounds. Fees as well, and Stewie, and then just their overall defense. That's where they had to dig deep and get it done. Cardell said something was going to have to give, and France's defense held up. Team USA didn't have that kind of offensive explosion we've seen. And they just had to get gritty and get nasty and take this game. And yeah, shout out to them, man. It's not a lot of teams that would have been able to pull this out with the way France was playing. So yeah, kudos to them. And yeah, just history, 8 consecutive gold medals. I don't know if we'll see that again. Like that's craziness. But yeah, man, it just goes to show the testament to to how good these women are.
Yeah, y'all took care of everything. But Carter, I know we had talked a couple times. You had mentioned the last couple recaps, just talking about that long checklist that every team has to hit to beat the USA. And we saw the men go through this, I think, against Serbia, where Kerr was just for 3 quarters looking for the right, just trying to find the right combination of people for this to get out of this specific game. We hadn't seen the woman go through it before this game. Cheryl Reed was over there looking up and down that bench like, who can play and survive in this game to push things our way? And that's why, like I was mentioning with Ray, just watching people, man, there's so many Twitter coaches complaining about everything through all this. Is do y'all understand what other teams are doing? Soon as on the men's or the women's side, if you put small guards in the game, bro, it's FIBA. They're getting posted up in -2 seconds. Every team, they're going to find you. There's not even enough time to switch, bro. They're just going to they're putting your little ass on the block, and the ball's going there immediately. Men's and women's, this isn't the W, this isn't the NBA, where maybe the guard won't see you. Nah, bro, it's FIBA. The guard already knows what's happening. That entry pass is already in the air 9 times out of 10, which means when you look up and down some of these rosters, keep that in mind. Hey, man, I get it offensively, but You can't put their little behinds in there. It is not sustainable.
You can't keep their big behinds in there. Stewie was 2 for 8. Stewie was 2 for 8. Brianna Stewart was 2 for 8
Yeah.
today. Oh, see y'all. I'm gonna deal with the cesspool that's Twitter. Okay. This is why also those 2 highly acclaimed rookies couldn't play this Olympics. They're not ready. This is why. They ain't ready for this. All right. They let you play overseas. See, y'all so used to the entertainment stuff and the debate shows blinding y'all to what real basketball is. Overseas, you gotta earn everything. And that's what you had to deal with. You gotta have grown women that's poised and got the physicality to do it. Did y'all see in the second half what they was doing at INS school? Got her about the game quick. Like, I can't play you because you, defensively you just they picking on you. See what I'm saying? Alyssa Thomas, she couldn't play. She can't shoot. Big's just gonna sag off and make life hell for Asia and Stewie. See what I'm saying? That Stewie wasn't hitting because they had the length to bother her shot. Jackie Young 1 for 7. Chelsea Gray also only played 13 minutes. They had to literally, they took their point guards out of the game. So that's why you saw no flow offensively. They took their primary point guards out the game. Hell of a strategy. So you saw Kalea Kaba bringing the ball up. Kelsey Plum came in, but she's scrappy defensively and she could shoot. She provides value. That's why she was able to finish the game with Collier, with Asia and Stewie. Stewie didn't shoot the ball well, but guess what? She can rebound, she can make plays, and her defense. She got the big block on France point guard late in the game. You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to play basketball. You got to be able to impact the game in multiple ways to win Olympic gold medal. And you just seen it, man. Like, I don't understand what the delusion is, but I understand it's a lot of people who think they know basketball. And it's amazing why basketball is the only sport where everybody can just look at it and I got it. And I'm like, man, you got to play the game to really understand the difference, man. This ain't the YMCA where your center might be 6 feet. You see what I'm saying? This you playing against the best players in the world where on the women's side, Stewie was 6'6", 6'5", 6'6", but she moves like she's 6 feet. She long. All of a sudden, those passes ain't the same. That's getting stolen. They going the other way. Those rebounds, the rebounds you used to get, you can't get a hand on it no more. The shots you used to be able to get over people, they blocking in or they force you to arc that on you airball. It's you gotta adjust. It's a constant adjustment. It's a constant adjustment, man. And think about, and you gotta respect the world, is what we always say, respect your competition. Because look at France. I looked up and down the roster. They only got 4 players that had some type of WNBA experience on their roster, where the entire USA team are WNBA players with a WNBA coaching staff. Cherie has multiple WNBA championship. Tabal has a WNBA championship. Kara Lawson's on that time. Like the cream of the crop. And they still barely won by 1 point. Because had Gabby been behind that line, we in overtime, who knows what happens. So, and me and Wilson, we talked about it the other day, in the semis. We were saying, I was like, the refs gonna be affected by the crowd. Because you were saying, I wonder how the crowd's gonna be from women. I don't know how they coming out. Because it's for the gold medal game. They want, and the men's fella, they got the silver. They gonna be, they probably ain't even go to sleep for the men's game. We gonna stay up and party. We back at it tomorrow. We back at it. We gonna try, we gonna will them on. We gonna try to get this. Even the men's team was in there. All right. That crowd, refs are human. That crowd was impacted greatly by that crowd. And a lot of calls went against USA. Just like with Collier had a whole hand on the ball. And they called that foul.
But then the whole obvious ass block, and it was like,
yeah, they impacted by the crowd. But then again, they got to the line 34 times. So, France, like, we don't want to hear that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. They allow France to play their physicality. Because I don't think if they were here, if the Olympics were here in the States, I don't think they would have been able to play like that. They would have had to adjust.
They would have
They forced 19 turnovers from USA.
I think that was the biggest part of the game. I was obviously the physicality, but USA, how many times do y'all remember? I'm not even gonna look. Just how many times in the first half do you remember USA getting stops and actually scoring off the stops? It was stops and turnover, like almost instantly. And then the offensive rebounding, which France did a great job of.
Oh, yeah.
What's that? They get 16 offensive rebounds. They tied the USA. You know what I'm saying? They got all rebounded, but like, bruh, you got to get respect where it's due, man. And it just shows you the world's not in all no more. Like we can beat these, we can beat them. So to us, got to stay in the lab and stay hungry, stay humble, man. Before they overtake us. You see what I'm saying? Then it's a different animal. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, these teams not going anywhere. They're young. France women's young. France men's, like we said in the show, they got 3 rookies that didn't even play. Sarr, kid from Charlotte, and the number 1 pick, Reese in Atlanta. They didn't even play in the Olympics this year, but they probably will in the next 4 years. But the next 4 years, where's Wemby going to be at? That's going to be a different beast that you got to deal with. And he torched who is some calling the Avengers Olympic team this year, and he had 26-7 against them as a young boy. So what you gonna do when he's a vet and understands really how to win in 4 years? He gets that. So respect the world, man. Hell of a win, but proud of US for coming back with the goals, man. It wasn't easy. It's hard fought, but it shows you how close things are now. Like, yeah, even with the cream of the crop on both sides, it's damn near not enough no more. So you want, like, from the grassroots up, man, things got to change as far as you got to take this more serious, work on your game, get tougher, get more IQ and all that, because whatever they're doing across the water is working. The gap has closed dramatically.
And just another reminder for folks that are complaining about it, I think some of y'all going to be upset going forward how both the men's and women's teams are going to start being rostered. Those rosters have to be set for FIBA. Like purely off who's going to be able to survive in FIBA. Because, again, just talking with Ray, like, but there's so many guards we can't send on both sides to go play in FIBA. Like, just being honest. Like, just.
You got to be tough. You got to be tough.
Like, being completely honest. I'm not being jerk. I'm not hating on anybody. Just saying, on both sides, our country lacks in what is needed to go to put quality guards in FIBA play, because everybody's not built for that type of play over there.
Yeah, be tough.
Like multiple good players are getting played off the court or out of rotations. Yeah, we gotta look at how those 12 and 13 rosters get put together, where it might be maybe it's not as many accomplished folks to some of y'all, but folks that are built for FIBA. Because, like you said, you got to find a way to sustain that gap, because you can't just go off accolades. We'll get folks out of here.
Yeah,
I think they were talking during the
together rosters for the All-Star game.
I think they were talking during the broadcast. A young lady that came in when BG was in. She's a baby, the 6'6" center for France.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony Parker. I think they said Tony Parker was like, for France. They look at her as the female equivalent of what Wemby is for the men on their side. So again, just thinking about what stuff might look like in 4 years. Yeah, if you look shell shocked today, cool. It's expected.
You talking about body in?
No. Oh my God, I gotta go find out.
You said the center.
Yeah. She barely played. She was only in when BG was in.
What number was she?
Malanga.
Oh, Dominique Malanga. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6'6". Yeah. 2005, yeah.
Yeah, but she's a baby. So this is her first taste.
19. Yeah, she's 19. Well, she'll be 19 later this year, yeah.
So again, I'm not, we might not have a BG come 2028, So that's more size they got. Rupert's still young. Rupert, I'm sorry, is still young. I know she got drafted to the W a couple years ago, but I know she's still relatively young. I feel like she is, at least it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, man, just like you said, Cardell, things got to change at the lowest levels to get the foundation right. Because France and other countries are figuring it out, where those foundations seem pretty solid.
Like that, or it was like, we hope we can rumble.
Right.
We know we can rumble. We close. Let's fine tune some things. We'll see what's up in 4 years, 2028. We're gonna see what's up. And that's what they on.
And again, you can't, like, it's gonna be hard for anybody to tell me at this moment, whether on the men's or the women's side, that these teams that may have failed aren't looking at the US like, hey man, some of the folks ain't gonna be there to help.
Gotcha.
Like we like our young crop. maybe more than you like your young crop. But we'll see. Player of the game for you guys?
Man, I know statistically, I got to go with Copper, though. I got to go with Copper. Copper won that month. She won the game, though.
That was the separation they needed in the second half, and it wasn't much separation at all. But she got him over the hump, man. You know, yeah, like you said, Cardell, earlier, at some point it just became screw strategy, put your head down and get to the bucket. And that's what they needed, because the execution wasn't there because of the physicality in the defense. The deciding factor was her being able to get past Frank's athleticism. And she was really the only person on Team USA that could do that. So, yeah, man.
Man, no argument for me. The only thing that kept her from having it statistically is she didn't play long enough. Like, honestly, that's it. Like, but yeah, that's the math that changed everything.
First step.
Like, that was it. France had nothing for that. Like, France and Super Soldier had nothing for Kalea Copper. Gabby Williams was giving everybody hell. Kalea was like, I'm going by you now. On your left, Kalea Copper saying every time she was going to the basket. Like, even one of the last buckets she got swiped in the face, still finished because of the length. How many bunnies we seen USA players miss going to the basket, even times that the whistle was blown. But they didn't have an answer for Kalea even get rebounded. She fixed some of the rebounding issues too. Because of this, how spaced out France had the U.S. at times. You needed guards to come down and rebound. You want to talk about needing somebody with enough athleticism to rebound, get the board, and get the hell out of there? Difference maker.
For sure. And she hit the clutch free throw, 6 for 6 from the line. We all know she could strap. Yeah, man. She the X factor for me too. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was the difference in the game.
And Ray, did you have a different person for X Factor?
No, I didn't. I mean, yeah, like 25-25 at halftime, man. And then France jumped out with that 10-point spurt at the beginning of the third. Everything changed when Copper got activated.
Yeah, I forgot what I was about to say about her. Oh yeah, Cardell, we were talking about this whole time on the men and women's side, the luxury that USA has with its depth. They got to bring a Finals MVP off the bench to push to change the tide in this game.
But see, here's the thing about that's why coaching. This is why fans don't understand with coaching. They can't listen to fans because fans just gonna go with names who they know. And if you look at the roster, she's probably for most fans the least known player. Copper is, like, if you look at the entire roster, whatever. But if you let the fans dictate things, you listen to them, they probably have been like, hey man, put listen, put whoever got bigger than that. But coaching wise, it's like, yo, we need to get to the paint. Who can put their head down and get to the paint? Copper, that's our best athlete. And she tough. And she can finish. And if she gets to the line, she can hit free throws. And she damn sure ain't giving up nothing on the defense, man. Copper, go in there, do what you do, get to the bucket. We close to the bonus. Say no more. And it was over after that. They was able to control the game by getting to the free throw line, slow France down, keep the pressure on France, and then it became a poised game, and that's when the U.S. won. Because they pretty much stayed poised. Even think about it, they were down 10. They just chipped away, and that changed when Copper got in the game. They stayed poised, and they didn't crack. They didn't break. France started to break a little bit in the last 3 minutes, and they got it back in the last minute. That's how they were able to damn near steal it. But nah, man, she was the difference, man. And that goes from the championship experience. Experience is a mother, man. Experience is when you got the experience. It's just different. You know, Wilson, we joke about it on the media side and stuff like that. You know, like we love seeing newbies who talk a good game outside of it. Then when we get in front of the players in the locker room, go ahead and interview them. Stuttering, can't get the words out. They stuck. Like, but you saying all that stuff the other day about. I mean, he right here. Say it. And then it's a different ball game. It's no different than being a player. It's different when you hooping in the gym by yourself. Yeah, you can be Steph Curry, but you get out there in front of thousands and they screaming. You can't even hear your teammate next to you. And all that. All of a sudden, arms get heavy, the ball feel like it weighs like 1,000 pounds, legs feel like it weighs 1,000. You can't guard nobody. Hey man, pressure bust pipes. And then when you've been through that for so many times, it becomes normal. You're like, I ain't tripping off none of that. Let's ball. And that's the difference. That's the experience. So until you go through it, it's different. And think about it. These are all world players on the men's side and the women's side. And we saw some of them experiencing this for the first time. They cracked. Especially on the men's side. Steve Kerr, like, I gotta go with the old dogs. KD, Braun, get in there, dog. We ain't open this show. Like, MB, sit your ass down. AD, get in there. Nah, bro, get in there. Drew, get in there. Come on, dog. Don't go win this. Seriously. And that's what
you're right, though. Like you said, on both sides. You needed to have people who've been through that. I don't think people really get how hostile an environment that was, one. Two, you got the pressure of nobody wants to be the next team that has to make sure that it's a redeemed team, part two. Nobody wants to be that group. So excuse these coaches for looking down that bench and going, you ain't done it, you ain't done it, you ain't done it, you.
Bro.
Really, y'all? Really, y'all? Now, let me go get the psychopaths that are smiling. Kelsey Plum was giggling, shooting free throws on the line with the game in the balance. Put your psychopaths in there.
I got 2 chips. I've been here. I've been in pressure situations before. I love this. You feel what I'm saying? But like you said, no one wants to be 0-4, dog. You don't want that on your resume. It was bad. Them players had to go into hiding. And let's be for real, it messed up a lot of their legacy, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those players never got another chance to be on USA. Like nothing. USA, nothing. They can't even call a game no more. I stay over there, partner. Like, that's bad, bro. Including the coaches. Coaches never got a second chance. So you don't want that on your resume, bro. It's just nah. Even your peers gonna be looking at you like, man, shut up, man. Y'all got bronze, silver in the Olympics, bro. Come on, you're like, damn.
Bro, it's the great equalizer. For anything you say or do, they just gonna bring that up, and it just doesn't matter. Bro, matter of fact, you had folks from some folks that had the bronze, however many years later, trying to get enough goals to take that away.
And here's the other thing people don't think about. So these NBA, these WNBA front office, these NBA front office execs, the scouts, they over international waters scouting year round. They know what's over there.
Mm-hmm.
They know what's over there. And they're communicating with USA Basketball, all that. It's dialogue year round. They know what's over there. They know what's coming. So, like, when they say certain players, nah, player, yeah, you ain't quite ready. You got that weight room a little bit. Yeah, you tough and all, but you got to be able to finish. Just 30% on layups ain't going to cut it, dog. That's going to cost us the goal. They know exactly what they're talking about. So, there's so many people in basketball that like to act like they know. Relax, bro. These people get paid a lot of money, got a lot of resources to see what's going on and be able to prepare for it. Just like those international teams are doing the same thing, studying us. A lot of their young players that come over here playing in camps, international all-star games, on the circuit, going to college here, going to play in the W, going to play in the NBA, G League or whatever, going back to their native country and stuff, teaching them, turning all that. It's competition. So you got to understand it's a bigger thing than just, hey, let's just go get a bunch of name players. We did that. And dog got ahead. Puerto Rico got Carlos Arroyo cooking Allen Iverson and Starbury, dog. I rest my case, man. And I'm not even disrespecting Arroyo. I know he could ball. He had tough shots in the league. I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, he's not on their level.
Mm-hmm.
That Olympic game is like, bro, they can't do nothing with me. Why they hit? He reversed it.
Yep.
So you got to respect what's going on and the process of getting there. They get their turn, but they need a little bit more season. And I'm talking about, the rookies. You know what I'm saying? They get their turn, but they Caitlin and they get their turn, but they need more season. It's just facts. Because if Asia was struggling, Stewie was struggling against this, what y'all think y'all gonna do?
Be on the bench watching like some of the other folks that couldn't play in this game. That's what it was going to be. It wasn't a legitimate option, man. It was tough. It was tough. That was insanely tough, but good win by the U.S. woman. Sustaining excellence is never easy. And look, man, ugly wins count too. Ugly wins count too. Like, people might remember this, but for the most part, you go down in infamy when you don't get it done. Like, we can all pull up 04 on the top of our heads. I don't remember 8, 12, 16. Whatever. I got to think, but failure? 04. Comes to mind quick. And for the U.S. women's side, yeah, nobody wants to be that first team. Nobody does.
Yeah, you don't want to snap a 60+ game winning streak.
That's not one of the things you want to join them in. That's let them have that. But thank you for themselves. But we appreciate y'all. We've enjoyed covering both the men's and the women's side of things for USA basketball. Look forward to checking in, obviously, back in with you guys on this level in a few years. But as of right now, the W resumes later this week, so we'll get at y'all then.